Piston fans, we're back with another one. I want to talk about the building of this current regime. What this current regime is actually building, or you can say doing a rebuild, and what type of image and structure that they're building it in, or building it by, or from, or of. We in the last video we talked about like how they're building in the image of a combination of two eras. That was the Bad Boys and the Going to Work. Now, the what you're going to keep your mind, keep your focus on, and you're being attentive to the moves that Troy Weaver is making, particularly how he's building it. I'm going to use those two previous regimes, the Piston regimes, as not previous, but the two winning regimes as the template of how they built it. I'm going to give you four names. No, well, actually, I'm going to give you like 8 names, and you build it from there. I can stretch it to maybe uh I could say 10, but I'm gonna give you 8 for now. Bill Laimbeer, Rick Mahorn, Ben Wallace, Rasheed Wallace, Isaiah Thomas, Joe Dumars, Chauncey Billups, Rip Hamilton. Though that is going to be your template how they're going to build this team. Your front court and back court, your mid court to bench, you can plug in as you go, or whatever the case may be. You may have it, you may have something now to build with. Let's say, for example, with the Going to Work crew, you had Michael Curry. With the Bad Boys, you had Adrian Dantley. That turned Adrian Dantley to Mark Aguirre. They able to win. With Adrian Dantley, they got to I think they got to the championship. I believe they did. And was that 88? And I think that's when they lost to the Lakers. I believe, I'm not sure. Well, I don't think that Mark Aguirre was here yet. But anyway, so right now you have I'm gonna bookmark it now. You have Isaiah Stewart. He is a rookie, but he's gonna take that starting center spot. He's gonna take it. Not gonna give it to him. He's going to take it. And then you have next to him, you have the free agent that they signed. I think his last name is Grant, if I'm not mistaken. That is your front court. Now your back court, they don't really have that assembled yet. All you got to do is find one. Find your point guard. If that's going to be Killian Hayes, if there's going to be the one, I guess the draft player, or the guy that is traded for. I don't know if Zaire. I don't know if he's a 2 guard or 1 guard. I don't know how it goes. I don't know who they point guard. It could be. You know what? Oh, forgive me, Derrick Rose. I forgot all about that. Derrick Rose. Where Derrick Rose is right now is equivalent to Chauncey Billups when he got here. Seasoned, veteran, ready to go. So I'm going to jump on a limb, and with this one, I'm going to say Sekou and Killian Hayes could be trade bait for a nice chip. I don't want to say for a Rasheed Wallace-esque type move, but it would definitely put them in I don't know who that player would be or what that player would be. But let's say, for example, if Bradley Beal was the guy that can complement Derrick Rose right now, somebody would say, I wouldn't trade that for the contract that Bradley Beal is getting. I get it. I get that. But I'm not saying trade it now. I'm saying if this team has developed a chemistry, not this year, but maybe next year. I don't know how long they got Rose. I don't know if they got it from this year or next year. I don't know how it goes. Excuse me. Or until they get They have to solidify their point guard position. If they can solidify that point guard position, they can get the two guard because now you got something to play off of. If you get the two guard first, you gotta get your point guard that can play off that two guard with what he does well. What made Rip Hamilton and Joe Dumars great because they was adaptable to what Isaiah Thomas and Chauncey Billups was doing. They game fit what they did. Joe Dumars was actually a point guard coming out of McNeese State. He was a point guard, but he can run the two. I don't know if that he did that there at McNeese State or that was Chuck Daly's doing. I don't know. But when it was a choice between get him and Spud Webb, and I think that at the time Spud Webb was the higher ranking guard coming out. And matter of fact, I believe they did sign Spud Webb. Not sign it. I believe they drafted Spud Webb, but they traded his rights to Atlanta and whatever. But they chose Joe Dumars over Spud Webb. Why? Because Isaiah Thomas was your guard, your point guard. Spud Webb would have been your point guard. So you need something to complement Isaiah Thomas. So Joe Dumars was clearly the best suited. So in my opinion, until you get your starting point guard, and I think Derrick Rose is that guy, unless they can find him a good veteran or seasoned point guard that's ready to lead like a Derrick Rose is right now. Derrick Rose is right now perfect in a bad boys going to work image. He is perfect. I don't know what their plans with him are or will be. I don't know if he's interested in staying here, but he's actually perfect for that front court that they finna develop. Isaiah Stewart and I can't think of the guy's first name, but I believe last name is Grant, that they brought in as the free agent from Denver. I don't know who your three would be. I'm going to say Josh Jackson for now, and maybe even Sekou. It could be anybody. Whoever it is, you're going to have to be a combination of one or two players. You're going to have to be a combination of a Dennis Rodman type with energy type. Or you're going to have to be a Tayshaun Prince, Michael Curry type. They may start off with the Michael Curry. You may start off with the Adrian Dantley. But, forgive me. You may start off with the Mark Aguirre and then eventually go from Mark Aguirre to Dennis Rodman. But you may start off with the Michael Curry and then go from Michael Curry to Tayshaun Prince. I don't know who their small forward would be. But whoever it is, they're going to have some offense, at least 50% offense, or better yet, let's say at least 30 to 40% offense. But basically, 70 to 60% defense. So that is my little rant on that. But Troy Weaver is building this team in the image of Jack McCloskey and Joe Dumars, both teams of the bad boys and going to work. They're going to be a mentally tough team. You would not, the way that this personnel is being assembled, you will not be able to push around this team. That's going to be great to going against the so-called the showcase teams with the high name teams. You know, the players with the top of the line type personnel. If you talk about I believe it's Kyrie Irving and Kevin Durant in Brooklyn. If you have LeBron James and Anthony Davis with the Lakers, you have Westbrook and Harden with Houston. You have Paul George and Kawhi with the Clippers. You have these duels to be able to unless you have a duel yourself that's equally as talented as those that you're going to compete against. If you don't have that, this put me back in the mindset when back in the I want to say the 90s when it was a dual league. You know, when you had the Shaq and the Kobe's, you had the Scottie Pippens and the Jordans. It was a dual league, and the only way you could beat a dual league is by a team. I'm not talking about a 5-man team. You got to go at least 10 deep to beat that team. And the Pistons, what they're going to do, they're going to build a team 10 deep. I don't know if Killian Hayes is going to be the guy, or I believe him and Sekou is going to be part of a trade package. As much as I would like to have young youth develop, I would prefer them to win again, and whatever. But it depends on Derrick Rose, in my opinion. If Derrick Rose is in the plans of staying here, that based upon his decision to be here, I believe, versus them, trying to make a move. If he wants to be here and he sees the day, whatever, all he has to do, what Derrick Rose is in his career is where I would like for Matthew Stafford to be in his career. Just play smart ball. You don't have the talent, whatever, you don't have the ability that you once have. Just play smart ball, possession ball. And Derrick Rose is a winner. He is pissed. That Chicago grit is perfect for what we do here in Detroit. Previously with Isaiah Thomas and Chauncey Billups. He's a combination of both. Derrick Rose is a combination of Chauncey Billups and Isaiah Thomas. Mentally, his game's where it's at now. He's a combination of both. He's Isaiah Thomas by the draft status and everything else and popularity and so forth. But his game is, because of injury, has reduced to a slower pace like a Chauncey Billups. He's a combination of both. Now, what you do is get you something that's going to complement him at that two guard spot, like a Joe Dumars / Rip Hamilton. Look how this team is being assembled. They got me excited again. With that being said, Pistons fans, you got it.